I think this is the first time I am actually afraid to try a product. I've never seen anything like this in my life. This is a microneedling serum that has 7,500 microneedles in the serum. So apparently when you apply it, it feels like little needles are pricking you. The directions say apply an appropriate amount to the face. What the f does that mean?
Ooh, this is by far the most complicated product that we have ever reviewed. We are talking about the Medicube one-day exosome shot.
We don't have a mic. Oh, we have a microphone. I'm sorry. I was like, we don't have a microphone. We're wearing lapel mics today. This is like new to me.
Unbelievable. This is an unsponsored review of the Medicube one-day exosome shot. And this comes in two different forms, the 7,500 and the 2,000. We're gonna be talking about what the difference is between these two. And we're gonna be talking about whether or not this is truly microneedling in a bottle, which is what the internet is calling it.
Right. So is this serum your replacement for microneedling? Are there even needles in this? We'll take a look with you and tell you, is this product worth it? Is it a gimmick? Is it just straight up lying? We will let you know.
All right, so all things microneedling in a bottle, here we go.
Here we go.
First of all, shout out to Michaela. We love Michaela. She makes great content. I know her personally. She's awesome. We're going to be talking about this particular product and whether or not we actually believe in it. What is this product?
This product is, I don't know, it feels like effort. We spent so much work just deep diving this product. It is so confusing and complex that I almost don't blame the narrative spinning on social media. I'm about to be first to tell you, I actually kind of like Medicube. I think they're very innovative, but this one's just out of control. We'll take a look at the two most perhaps confusing and complex portions of this product. The first is the needles. Are there needles in this product?
All right, so Dr. Maxfield looked at this underneath the microscope and lo and behold, there are needles in this product. But what are these needles? So these needles are actually hydrolyzed sponge. So that's what you're gonna see on the ingredient list. And this hydrolyzed sponge is made up of a bunch of little spicules, and these spicules look like needles underneath the microscope.
Which they, therefore, are made up of a few different things. There's a study showing you can make these spicules out of hyaluronic acid. Those dissolve in nature, and these are made out of different types of minerals. From the manufacturer's website, or a manufacturer's website, it looks like these are based out of silica. Which, actually, if you follow the train of this, we just said that the needles are actually hydrolyzed sponge, which are actually spicules, which are actually either a dissolvable or non-absorbable form of the spicules. And already you can see how this product is very, very confusing.
So it's not clear what type of hydrolyzed sponge is being used by the different brands that are using these hydrolyzed sponges. But basically what we've come to conclude after looking at tons of different articles and tons of different manufacturers' websites is that these are generally either made up of some type of calcite, which is a calcium-based, really hard substance, or it's made up of silica, which again is a very hard substance and can poke you essentially. And both of these are non-dissolvable forms of needles, meaning that once they're there, they don't just dissolve on their own based on what we've come across.
That adds layers to this layered onion, I would say, because when you look at these needles, they are different and distinct from your microneedles. These actually form a functional purpose. The purpose of these is purely absorption, and this is kind of going to be a reoccurring theme. Basically, these little spicules break through the tippy top of the skin, and the function of this is different and distinct from something like microneedling, where the different depths of the needles actually directly stimulate collagen. They directly stimulate cell signaling to increase collagen growth, directly induce collagen remodeling.
We know that microneedling, by creating these little holes in the skin, they cause microtrauma, which then stimulates your fibroblasts and wound healing mechanisms to produce more collagen. Are these gonna do that as well? We ain't got a clue in the world because the studies on this are very limited, but what the studies do show on these hydrolyzed sponges and these spicules is that they do certainly increase the absorption of your skincare ingredients. And they do this by creating little holes in the stratum corneum layer of the skin, and those little holes allow it to be delivered deeper and more efficiently into the skin. Now, one of the problems with any skincare product is if you go back to the original research in skincare, and we're talking Kligman times, the inventor center of tretinoin, the main limiting factor to whether a skincare ingredient was going to work or not was whether or not it could even penetrate into the stratum corneum. So every type of brand and every type of device has looked at how do we penetrate the stratum corneum so we can make our skincare products more effective. And so this is one way that can actually do it quite effectively.
Needless to say, these needles, spicules, whatever you want to call them, increase absorption. That I think we can feel confident about, and we'll leave that portion of this product there.
Now, this is where the product again gets more complicated because they don't call this microneedling in a bottle. They call this the one-day exosome shot. So now we have to tell you what an exosome is because these spicules are coated in exosomes. So now we have the spicule, which is the mystery of life. And then now we also have these spicules coated in an exosome. What are exosomes broadly? We won't go too deep into this. Will be a whole nother video on what exosomes are. But broadly, what are exosomes?
So basically, exosomes are, in the most simple sense, something that's packaged, perhaps encapsulated, to deliver ingredients to a receptor or a cell or a receiving cell. Now in our body, we create exosomes. Like it wraps up in the plasma membrane, it goes inside your cell, it leaves the cell in this nice little package full of growth factors, cytokines, and amino acids and other things, and then other cells in your body receive them. These exosomes are not quite that. These exosomes are actually derived from the bacteria Lactobacillus, and within these are some helpful ingredients.
So what these exosomes do basically is they get recognized by your cells because they have little receptors on them, and they allow them to be carried through the skin. Again, this function of this is to increase delivery of ingredients that would otherwise be very difficult to deliver. Just like the needles are poking holes in the stratum corneum to deliver things, these exosomes are also allowing ingredients to be delivered because they're able to be taken up by your cells. And so the whole function of this product is to essentially deliver ingredients more effectively into the skin. And I do believe the technology that they're bringing to the table will allow for that to happen.
Those are the two most unique and novel ingredients in this product. But now we need to look at the supporting cast, because if you actually look at the ingredient composition of the product and strip away like the innovation and novelty, it seems fairly straightforward to me.
So let's talk about what ingredients are actually in this, because the whole function of the technology that's in this formula is to increase the penetration of something. What is that something? And so that something is actually pretty simple and straightforward, like Dr. Maxfield said. So niacinamide, an ingredient that we know and love, it helps with pigmentation, it helps with skin barrier, it helps has some anti-aging benefits as well. Panthenol, which is very calming and soothing. Adenosine, which also has benefits. We probably need to do a whole nother video on that. And some polyhydroxy acids like gluconolactone in it, but it's at a lower concentration, so we don't really know if it's going to have that exfoliating benefit that we hope to see. But overall, that's pretty simple formula. There's really nothing that's like super heavy hitting in this. And there are two different forms of this. There is the 2000 and the 7500. What's the difference between these two?
The quantity of the needles. I actually did look at both of these under the microscope, and it's like an appreciable difference, the density and the concentration of the needles. And then I would assume that's going to directly correlate with the delivery of these ingredients into your skin. That, I think, is an assumption on my part, but I think it makes a little bit of sense. Now we will take a look at the subjective portion of the product. So we've talked about what the ingredients are, what they do. It's basically an exfoliator that anchors on absorption and supposedly effectiveness. But now the subjective portion, the packaging, the look, the feel. We say it doesn't matter sometimes, but you know, I still care.
So this is a metallized looking plastic packaging, so nothing too fancy, with a dip tube in it. Looks beautiful, will look beautiful on your shelf. One of the more controversial parts of this product is how does this feel on the skin? And I can tell you right now, I hate it.
Wait, so you actually tried it on your face already?
I have not tried it on my face. I've only tried it on my hand, and I refuse to try it on my face for multiple reasons, and maybe we could talk about that in a little bit as well.
So I did use this on my face, and I don't think I'm gonna do it today because I've done it before. I don't really desire to do it again. Maybe I'll do it on the right side of my face. The right side of my face is much more resistant than the left. Yeah, so yeah, still don't enjoy it. Nah, we're not rubbing that in. It feels like what I imagine fiberglass would feel like. And that's a lot of what the comments in my short form video of this were like, it feels like fiberglass. If you've ever tried to peel a prickly pear, and there's like these invisible spicules that just pierce your skin and you can't see them, but it's quite aggravating and irritating and you don't know why. That's what this is. It tingles. That's the other verbiage people use to describe it. But I think it's more than that. It's uncomfortable.
The first time that I used this product was about a month ago, and it was sitting on Dr. Maxfield's table. I picked it up. I was like, oh, cool. I've seen this thing. Boom. I put it on my hand. I start rubbing it in, and I have picked up fiberglass before, and this feels exactly like what it feels like when you pick up fiberglass. It is one of the most uncomfortable feelings. It would be the equivalent in my mind as what nails on a chalkboard sounds like is what holding fiberglass feels like. Feels like us getting stabbed by 1,000 needles, but like little like paper cuts essentially.
Yeah, like paper
cuts. It's
cuts.
not very comfortable. And if you've ever gotten fiberglass in your hand and you have to individually pick out the little pieces of fiberglass, it is a horrendous experience because if you push them in just a little bit further, they hit like a little nerve that just drives you completely nuts. So I hate the way that this product feels on the skin. The 2000 is not nearly as bad as the 7500 is, but it is a very, very uncomfortable feeling.
The alternative thing is, even on the packaging, I think it says like you can pat it in. Like it definitely feels better if you pat, don't rub. That's true. And then you probably will still get the absorption benefits, still get the ingredient benefits. So if you do decide to use this after this incredibly hard sell from us to you, I would recommend patting this into your skin as opposed to rubbing it in your skin.
So I haven't used this product long enough to tell you whether or not I could see results in my own skin, and I won't be using it for long enough to see results in my skin, and we'll talk a little bit about that in our recommendation later, and I'd like to hear what Dr. Maxfield has to say as well. But let's go into the pricing a little bit. It appears to be $39, but then it's always on sale. So it's roughly $20 and you can get it on Amazon for $18. It's really not an expensive product for everything that it's offering, quite honestly. So I don't think that it's overly expensive.
I think it's interesting because when I see novel tech like this, I almost expect like a $200 price tag because that's the way I feel like a lot of brands try to justify like huge margins or an exorbitant cost. Is there something novel or new in it? So I will say to Medicube's credit, somehow they have partnered a couple of very novel ideas into a very affordable product. That combination alone is very rare to me.
This is a South Korean company. If this is a US-based company, they would be selling this product for certainly over $100. You have hydrolyzed sponge spicules coated in lactobacillus exosomes that are meant to deliver ingredients deeper into the skin. This is novel technology, but it is quite affordable, and a lot of the stuff coming out of South Korea really is an affordable price point. So let's talk about our overall recommendation. I do want to hear what you have to say about this product.
I actually, as you're saying, like you're not going to use it, a couple of times I've thought, you know, maybe I'll use this on my nose or something, like some skin that is very resistant or an area that I want to be really aggressive with. I haven't yet, but like if I was going to use it anywhere, that's where I would like really hit. Now, interestingly, I did try this with another exfoliator. It was the L'Oreal snake peel one, and it's like green. And it's fragrance. I think it has menthol in it, but I actually had a really positive experience with that one. Like I left it on my skin. I actually shot videos for the rest of the day and felt great. Like that's wild. So it was kind of two similar ingredient profiles from the actual exfoliating depth. One I tolerated really well. One I found wildly uncomfortable. But I do think that this in particular is absorbed, can be particularly effective. It's just like, who would enjoy the experience enough to push through it? That's what I don't see.
Here's my thoughts on this product. One, I definitely think it's novel technology. I think what this product will do for you if you did use it consistently is help with texture. That's where I see its benefit the most. I've seen videos where it says it does a million different things, but truly it has exfoliants in it, both physical and chemical. And that's truly what it's delivering into the skin. So it may help a little bit with even tone, it may help, but I think primarily this is a product that's gonna help with texture. This is not something I would use every day, poking little holes into my skin every single day, and I wouldn't be exfoliating it every day anyway. So I think this is something that you wanna use once, maybe twice a week. In my experience, just on the experience alone, this is not a product that I will be using because I really genuinely hate the way that it feels. The other part of this is I don't know if these spicules are soluble or not. Now, according to some of the manufacturer websites, they're not soluble. So if they're not soluble, then they just kind of like stick in your skin and hang in there until your body pushes them out, presumably. And then I start thinking about if it gets in your eyes, that would be a horrible experience. And so I don't really know what's going to happen with these little potentially calcium or silica needles that are poking into your skin. But my assumption is they're not going deep enough to really cause any harm, and they're likely getting pushed out over time. And according to one study, the benefit of these needles is they stick around for about 72 hours. So you have little needles sticking out of your skin for 72 hours. If you got that in your eye, I just, all these thoughts in my mind make me feel like this is a product that I would need to see on the market for longer, and I would need to see more studies on the safety in this. Most of the studies that we talk about that look at the absorption of this product are in animals, mice, or pigs. So I'd really like to see more studies in humans. When it comes to exosomes, the most important thing is like, what is this exosome delivering into the skin? Like, what's in the envelope, right? So it's like similar to encapsulation. Anything can be an exosome, but what's inside of that exosome is going to be the most important. I'm excited about the idea of a product that can deliver things deeper into the skin. I'm excited about an exosome that can deliver ingredients that maybe have trouble getting into the skin. So I think technology-wise, Medicube is onto something great. I think that they need something that's a little bit more effective in order to deliver into the skin, because right now I think the ingredients that it's delivering are kind of mid at best. And then overall, I think there are other options. You could micro stamp, you could do many other things that would have a similar effect and maybe be a little bit more controlled, and then wouldn't have this big question mark for me of what happens to the needles once they're in your skin.
Can you imagine microneedling your skin and then the needles just kind of like stuck in your skin for the next 3 days and you just walk around with them? That's kind of the concept of this. It's just on a smaller scale. So similarly, I think it does have benefits. I think the technology is novel. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Does it replace your procedural microneedling? No, it absolutely has almost no overlap with that. Like, they're completely different in my mind. Still, is this the product for you? I always say that's up to you. Some people like pain. Some people like pain in weird ways. So like, maybe this is the product for that person.
I think if you have sensitive skin, I can confidently say this product's not for you. If you're somebody with more resilient skin that really wants to push your skin to the limit, then I do think this product is actually worth giving a try to. And I'll put a big, gigantic question mark on the safety of this product over time, because I ain't got a clue in the world. That's my honest response. As I have more data, I will let you know. But it does look like exciting technology. I'm gonna give this a mid recommendation. Mid to no recommendation.
Yeah, that's stronger than I would have thought you would have given. I'm kind of like mid to probably not.
Not for me.
For most people, I would say probably not going to enjoy this product, even if there are benefits from it.
And this product is very similar to the RT needle or RT Riedel. The Riedel shot. So very similar technology. So if you have questions about that product, pretty much answered all those questions in this video. For now, we'll hold off. If something new comes out, maybe a product that has similar technology, but maybe gives us more information on what happens with the needles, are they soluble or not, and maybe are delivering more interesting ingredients into the skin, then maybe my recommendation would change. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you want us to review next.
All right, we'll see you next time. I'm gonna go wash my face.